What's up, everyone? I'm Malanie Gardea with Austin Underground, and we're at ACL Day 2 with Arlie. So how are you guys feeling today? How is the energy out there? Is that pop any good? Let us know.
It's really good, and I finished chewing just in time to answer this. The energy was amazing, and it was like our first time using in-ear monitors ever, so we could had to just trust that it was gonna sound all together out in the house, which it sounds like it did, but people were jumping, people were singing along, and that just feels so good, especially not having done it for over 2 years. So it just makes me feel really good. How about you guys?
Oh, the energy was pretty righteous. It was last week was really fun. The energy last weekend was really good too. But for some reason this stage kind of has a channel, and people just were singing along a lot more, and it was just, man, it was really fun. It was good to see people singing songs out, and just even if we're not playing, just the energy's great out here.
Do you guys want to put anything in?
It was really fun. Yeah. Oh no.
We're used to this. Has been happening all day.
It was electric.
Electric. We used electricity.
That's good. So you guys just said how the fans were singing along and you felt that energy. What's your go-to move to get the just the crowd pumping, and what song do you they're gonna get into it, and you're you know what, this is crowd and this is the one I'm gonna play? Well, how do you guys all collectively sync that up in your heads on stage?
We used to do those jumps and spirals. If anybody went to see us when we played this song Spirals, that'll hopefully come out someday. But we used to all jump and sync. We still do some of those. I like to do kicks.
Also, I feel like we're very responsive to one another, and I feel it's the minute I get out of my head in a song and I'm oh fuck yeah, this song's sick, then I start noticing everyone else starting to bring it a little bit more too, and I just feel it takes one of us to be deciding to be really in it, and then it just starts to take off to the next level. Yeah. What about? Oh, I don't know.
Are you on something? Are you on it right now?
No, I was gonna ask Noah maybe. Or
Oh
something.
yeah.
I can't even remember what the question was.
I was just gonna say, well, yes.
How is it with the fans out there? How do you get them interacting with you?
In my moments where I'm not playing, which is a good amount, little breaks in the songs, I think those are really blissful moments to really just feel whatever the crowd is feeling. And just like Ryan is saying, I think it just builds each moment. Builds.
Today we had the cape. Today I had the red cape, so I hadn't done that in a long time, but there was 2 shows on tour 2019 or whatever where I had the cape for Titanic, and then I get to have this big thing to wave around at the end when I take my guitar off and run around and scream. So that's
God, what's even the question? Oh, what do we do? Oh,
what do we do again? Wait, what do we do again?
No, what actually sometimes works, but also 90% of the time doesn't work. I tend to, while I'm drumming, just kind of stare, and my staring spot happens to be at someone. No, if I have a friend in the crowd, luckily I had some friends that I could just kind of stare at for a while. But sometimes it is some poor individual who just realizes that the drummer is just staring right at them. And then I'll kind of realize it and just kind of let them know I'm sorry, I was just staring. So that's a great way to get people to interact with you. Yeah, that's my take.
That's an interesting take. It works though, I bet. So as long as it looks good, it fits the brand, what else matters? Yeah, so we're talking about fans and interacting. I'm curious, what motivates you guys to get on stage? I know there's 4 members and there's probably a lot in your team that keeps you guys running to be the band you are. So each one of you, what motivates you, and what do you guys do all together to successfully be the image that you guys are trying to be as a band? I don't know who wants to take that one first.
I'll start it, and
Okay.
we can kind of just really seeing really good live bands growing up. and just kind of having that like excitement to be like, oh, I could do that, kind of gets me excited to play in front of other people, to maybe like inspire the little me in the crowd, or any person really. But yeah, and then just kind of bringing the energy that Ryan was even talking about into the show, just straight from the get-go, and just like making eye contact with one another and having like these like little moments with each other that kind of like collectively make up the whole show. But yeah, like there's some moments where I'm just like listening. I always listen for like Ryan's little like fills. It's so great. But yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, I'm glad you're asking this question, because it's easy to forget about this sort of like especially when we're like focusing so much on changes we're making in the set, and like trying to hear our mixes right and making sure we remember everything, because we haven't like been on tour doing this over and over and over, so it's like easy to sometimes forget about why we're actually doing this. And like, but there were moments during that set, and now you reminding me with this question, I'm really glad, because like you just remember that we all really love music, and like we love it as a way to connect with people and to like express ourselves and listen to each other, and so there's an energy that's transmitted between us on stage and between us and the audience, and like I mean, that's the best stuff when you're so in the music and you're rehearsed well enough and you've done it enough that you can just like focus yourself on that energy transmission. Is like that's what it's about. So yeah, that's what it is for me. How about you?
Yeah, I think it's been interesting this past we did last weekend here as well. These are the first couple shows we've played in a while, and it's been kind of like hectic with like getting back and forth between like this area and the stage and stuff like that. So like some pre-show like ritual type stuff that we have has been like a little bit scattered, in terms of like how to do that. But like we usually do a vocal warm up together, which like kind of like gets us in like a shared zone of like intentionality about like bringing our best to it, and just like getting warmed up together. I think is a good thing, literally, metaphorically, spiritually, whatever. And like and then I think like we haven't been doing this as much this time, literally because we just like haven't really had the time, and like but like sometimes like we'll just like get together and like run a section where we have like a 4-part harmony or whatever, like all 4 of us are singing, and just kind of like share that moment. And it feels good to sing with people. It feels good to sing together, and in that intimate context, like pre-show, it like gets us unified. And then we often do this little like hands in and then like lift it up, and then like big group hug thing, connects us. And if I just feel like when we go out feeling like friends and like feeling like together, like we usually like give our best show, and so like prioritizing that beforehand to the extent we can. Yeah.
What I really appreciate about working with these guys is a lot of the moments before we perform. I think all the rehearsals and just everything behind the scenes, everyone has a really high caliber vision for what they see in music and how they connect to music. And it just feels amazing working with passion in music all the time. And I think all the preparation allows us to, when we perform, kind of just translate and just express. Because everyone works so hard to just make a good set. And once we get there, I think it turns out well for people,
I love to see all of you guys just nodding your head to what the next person says. So it's kind of sweet to see you guys like just so like connected, not only out there, but obviously we could see it that you guys have a connect. Like I feel like you guys are just talking to each other, like even without talking right now. So it's cool that you guys have built that like, what is it, like telepath like connections and stuff. So with that, I know you guys are like from Nashville, right? how did that upbringing from Nashville and like being native to there and now touring and going around everywhere in Texas and whatnot, how does that influence your guys' music making as a whole and just like personal, not even music related? How does that upbringing to now in your life influence just who you are?
Nashville is a very cool city. It's like a music industry hub in the way that like LA and New York are, but it's a small city relative to those, and so it's easy to like really know, a lot of people like in the scene in like a real way in Nashville, and so it's like it's small. And it also feels connected to the world in a big way. Like I feel like a lot of small cities have that beautiful, like intimate, small energy, but don't feel like they feel more for themselves than like for the world. And so Nashville, I feel like, yeah, there's a sense of like intimacy and kind of like camaraderie and community that is like really beautiful. But everyone there, even outside of our band, there's just this energy of like, we're out here doing this to like share our voices with the world. And so like there's this kind of like just inspiring energy to being there, and a shared sort of passion and hunger amongst like so many of the people we know. And Nathaniel mentioned this earlier, but like one of like the big sort of musical traditions of Nashville is this sort of country-based, like songwriter focused thing. Like we know a lot of people who are more like country-based like songwriters, and like are literally just writing songs every single day, like have hundreds if not thousands of songs cataloged, and like just this very writerly focused energy. And there is like producer energy and like all that stuff, but like there's a real like songwriting as a craft in like a different way than I ever approached music before coming to Nashville, and like that I know is something Nathaniel was drawn to and like has leaned into, and like I think it's shaped all of us and shaped the band a lot. So it's a cool town. It's like a cool place. And yeah.
No, you're good. I was like, that was a great answer. Is your connection with Nashville and how those connections make you guys who you are. So with that, I want to end the interview with one last question of being, how do you hope to impact your audience? Even if it was someone that just heard you for the first time today, what do you hope that they left with? Not only with that community you were talking about that you want them to leave with, but just overall, what do you want them to remember, and how do you want to impact those that are hearing your music every day?
Questions.
You want to get it?
These are such big questions, but I like it. Yeah, ultimately, I could give a really wordy explanation to this or like not, and I'm kind of leaning towards maybe not. Like, I think basically if somebody's just gonna like have a better rest of their day after our set, like that is the most I could really hope for. Just like but also would be sick if people like want to come back and listen to the music and support us in other ways. Like that's always awesome, but like if that, I don't know, if like if somebody's just like having a better day, for just in some subtle little way after like seeing us perform, like I'm happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, essentially just that again. Of just like, I hope that, even if it was just like a little lift to the day, it'd be like, wow, I'm excited to go see these other bands. Because, we're not the only band in the world. There's like a whole like ecosystem of just more and more music all the time. It inspires them to just go see the next band, to go see the next, I'm just excited I'm excited for the privilege to be a part of like that sort of world and helping someone like music more.
Yeah.
I think like there's this feeling, we were kind of talking about it actually a second ago. It's like you can kind of see it in the audience when it happens, or you can very much see it in the audience when it happens, but it's this kind of like collective like awestruck or like whoa, like some energy has like resonated with everyone. And like as someone who's been an audience member many times, like I know that feeling. I love the feeling of just like that like holy shit moment where you turn to your friend and you're like, damn, like this is, and it like gives you that kind of like tingle that just like, I don't know, it makes you excited to be alive, you know, like that, making people feel that. And like, that's what I feel sometimes seeing live music, is like excited to be alive, and like that, like making people feel that. And then also like particularly this music, this band, this time in the world, I want people to leave believing in rock and roll, you know, like the musical world is changing, and like there's a lot of rock at the core of this band, and like it's really cool to see people like connecting with some good old-fashioned rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? Some good old-fashioned
Oh, yeah.
heavy metal.
All right, then. So, tell us where we could find you guys and what's next in store that you want to pitch and tell everyone that's watching right now. Let us know where to find you on social media and everything.
Yeah, Arlie Band at Arlie Band on Instagram and Twitter, and Arlie ARLIE on all of your listening platforms. And what else?
What's next?
What's next? More another song. Another song.
Music.
We have an album. Shh. No, we don't.
Yeah, you didn't hear that from us.
You guys heard it here first at Austin Underground. We didn't hear it first. Recent, but okay. You heard it here, all of it at Austin Underground with Arlie. We're here at ACL. Till next time, I'm Malanie Gardea. Make sure to check us out on all of our socials and our website at austinunderground.org. Till next time.